Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right, if you are enjoying the 10-minute drill, what is this called, this contraption? Facebook Live?
Facebook Live, baby.
Yeah, I'm going to just alert the affiliates in Facebook Live that we're going to go with a... We go with the feet up Thursday.
Casual.
And you guys can also look at without benefit of any supplemental information from the computer or any of these papers. I don't need any of them. It's all right here. Facebook Live, FBL.
Wow. That's strong, man.
Thank you, buddy.
So, 10-minute drill. Stay tuned at the end of the segment. One lucky Guggen's going to take home a wonderful prize pack, a 4-pack of tickets to go see the Jumbo Shrimp in action, and lunch or dinner for two from Chick-fil-A.
The Shrimp are giving them the Miami Marlins like their first glimmer of hope at any level of baseball in the last 3 years, it seems like. And they were terrible in the first half, but they've got a couple of the organization's top prospects, and some of the prospects are starting to mature a little bit from, all of those talent dumps that they did, from Yelich to Osuna to Stanton and more. And the Shrimp are in contention for a second-half title, which would get them into the playoffs. So that should be a fun time down there. I don't care what level it is or how familiar with the squad you are. It's always more fun to go to a game that matters, where a team is in contention.
Sure.
And the Shrimp look like they're going to contend here in the second half. So
I like it. Let's get the 10-minute drill started, Jeff.
You bet.
Before I ask you about, the Vegas favorite for this event, I just want to update our friend David Duval. Carded a 13 on hole number 7 and is now really, really in trouble. He's plus 11 through 8.
That's amazing that
he went birdie, par, quad.
Think about that.
Bogey, 13.
Was it a par 5? What is it?
Yeah, par 5.
That's crazy. He must have just hit about 3 of them out of bounds.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Do you even bother playing around? What can make you stop playing? My God, a 13?
13.
Imagine that. He was 2 under par through 4 holes, and now he's through 7 holes.
He did rally. He parred the 8th.
So he's
through
the
9th now.
He's through 8 holes, and what's his total score to par?
He's through 8, and he's 11 over.
He was 2 under through 4.
2 under through 2.
And now he's
4, yes.
And now he's 11 over through 8.
Yes, that's quite a swing.
Rory is.
Now the question is, Jeff. Rory was by Vegas odds, and really by anybody's odds, was the betting favorite for this event, and he's not 11 over. But I mean, what is going on with Rory?
Well,
McIlroy?
I will say this: he's scrapping. He hasn't given up on his round. Rory started terribly. He was 5 over through 3. He made a quadruple bogey 8 on the first hole, which is not a hard hole. He hit iron off the tee, and he hit it out of bounds. Made an 8, 4 over 8, a quad on the first hole. Then he added another bogey, got to 5 over, but he's made a birdie, and he's steadying his ship a little bit. If he could somehow play it back to even par, he might still be in it. It's so early.
9 shots back of your leader, Webb Simpson, right
now. But you can shoot yourself out of it. You can shoot yourself out of a chance of winning. I declared that Rory had done that already through 3 holes, but maybe that was a little too soon.
Maybe so. Jeff, the gang over at Sports Illustrated served up record predictions for all 32 NFL teams.
All right.
The record prediction they gave for the Jags is 9-7. I know when you talked yesterday, you said you felt like it's kind of 8-8 with like a plus or minus 2 swings.
Yeah.
So, sight unseen, would you take 9-7?
That's the question that I would ask. In fact, on the 1010XL text line built by Lifetime Enclosures, would you take 9-7? No questions asked right now. I think I would, Beef. I think I would take 9-7 and hope that it's good enough for at least the division or the wild card. Maybe that's slow playing it a little too much. Maybe you shouldn't be happy with or settle for 9-7. But all things considered, after last season, I think that'd be a step back in the right direction. I don't think it's outrageous to believe that they could win 9 games. In fact, I think they could win more. Coming up at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, Nick Foles went a little deeper on his relationship with John DeFilippo and what those two together can do for this offense, and we'll share that with you coming up in about half an hour. I'm
told by some of the Googans on the text line that Duval hit the wrong ball.
Is that what happened?
And thusly penalized.
All right. Yeah, we don't have I don't have the either the attention span or the ability to watch every shot of what's going on. I see that Francesco Molinari's just gone bogey, double bogey, so the defending champ is 2 over. I love the majors. And this looks like it's going to be a course where a huge number can gobble you up, right? I mean, already we've seen Rory McIlroy make a quad. I've seen other top players make doubles. Phil made a double. We've got, as you just said, David Duval made a 13. I know he's not playing, among the golf elite anymore, but still.
The 13 was a good break. He was initially down for a 15.
Golly. I'm going to promise you I could go right now to the 8th hole or 7th, whatever hole it was, and beat that 13.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
Makes you feel like you're a pro. Meanwhile, yesterday up in Charlotte, Willie Tager met the media, Josie and Rick Ballou. And he was also at the podium. I know you heard a lot of the sound from Willie going into year 2 at Florida State. Obviously, year 1 was certainly not what anybody was hoping for in Tallahassee. What's your takeaway from what you heard from Willie from yesterday in Charlotte? Looking ahead.
I like a guy who admits I could have done something a little bit differently. And coming off a 5-7 season, 3-5 in the ACC, that's probably not a bad play by Willie Tager. He's also seems to be legitimately confident that a big-time turnaround is coming. Now, whether that stems from his belief in James Blackman. I think James Blackman, the quarterback, is a little bit of a wild card here, and this is why. He is a leader. They have been saying that about him since he was a quiet freshman. Well, now he's a junior, and he's been around, and he's won football games, and his teammates want to go to war with him. That's always a good start if you can get your quarterback to be that type of guy and that type of leader. But the reality is this. It's a tough spot for Willie Tager. The ultimate acceptance is to compete for a national title. And I just fear that FSU has fallen so fast, so far behind Clemson that they're not catching them for 2 or 3 years. So it better be steady progress for Willie Taggart, building this program back to the point that they are on even footing with Clemson, because they were a couple of years ago, right? I mean, they went up there with Dalvin Cook at Clemson and nearly won the game. They've played them very close, but now back-to-back losing years, and Clemson has run away from them. I mean, they're not close to Clemson. I would give FSU a 0% chance of winning their division, and that's not based on a disbelief in the improvement that the Noles can make, but more just the distance that Clemson is putting on everyone. I mean, when you beat Alabama 45-13 in the national title game, there ain't no one in your conference that's going to even, be near your exhaust pipe next season. And so that I think adds a little bit to the dilemma and to the growth of FSU under Willie Tager.
Shockingly, Jeff, yesterday several teams reported for training camp. Among them, the Denver Broncos, who once again have a new signal caller. John Elway sort of trying an approach that you've often championed, saying, if you haven't hit the bullseye with a quarterback, that keep throwing darts. And the Broncos have kept throwing darts. This time they've thrown the Joe Flacco dart. John Elway yesterday said, hopefully with Joe we've got it solidified. With Drew Lock working under him, what do you think the Broncos have it solidified with Joe Flacco?
No, of course not. No, I don't think Joe Flacco is going to hold on to that job. I think that Drew Lock is going to take it. And John Elway, if he didn't, luck into Peyton Manning, who knows what his reputation would be.
Yeah, he doesn't have a great track record.
Well, they're not. I mean, they keep swinging and missing at the quarterback position. At one point I would have been okay with Joe Flacco here, but that point would have been in a trade last year when the team was struggling so bad. I'm glad they didn't go with Flacco. I think Flacco's best football is long gone, and outside of a tremendous postseason 1 year, Joe Flacco is a lot closer to Blake Bortles than he is, Drew Brees. So I don't think Flacco is the answer. Not in a division with the Chiefs and the Chargers. The Broncos could be last in that division. The Raiders might be better.
It's amazing. And lastly, Jeff, before we wrap up the 10-minute drill, the NBA offseason seems to have slowed down a little bit, but there's still that question mark about Chris Paul lingering out there. Yesterday, news came out that the Thunder have sort of gained no traction on trying to trade Chris Paul. Are you kind of surprised that there seems to be no market?
I think Chris Paul is just a guy. Now, he's got some leadership, I
mean, a lot of that's got to be the contract, right?
And it has to be. What does he make, like $31 million or something?
Like for the next 3-4 years.
Right. So he's very expensive. If you're a contender, you'd rather spend that money somewhere else. And if you're building a thing, you don't want to waste money when you're not contending. So he's kind of, the best situation for Chris Paul was in Houston, where he was paired with James Harden, where they were very, very close to beating Golden State. But Houston did the absolute right thing. Houston did the right thing, man. That's 2 years in a row with Golden State. You couldn't finish. Last year with injuries, there's no reason you shouldn't have won that series if you are capable, and they proved they weren't capable. Obviously, Harden and Chris Paul weren't getting along, and it's a no-brainer between Harden and Paul who you keep at this stage of their career. And Chris Paul's been around for a long time, dude. It's no shame.
He's 34 years old.
Right, he's been a very good player. There's not a big market for 34-year-old players making $30 million.
He's 34 years old, Jeff. He will make 38.5 this year.
Yeah, that's just
next year he'll make 41.3, and the following year he has a player option, which, spoiler alert, he will exercise for 44.2.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, who's trading for that? You can pay the salary, and I don't want it. All right, yeah, that's where I'd go with that. Oh,
boom.
All right, now I will go to my paperwork because I have a prize pack, so I want to make sure that I properly set this up for
alert the affiliates.
All you Googans out there. Let's see. The 10-minute drill prize pack today is a family 4-pack to the Jumbo Shrimp.
Boom.
And lunch or dinner for 2 at Chick-fil-A. So there you have it. With camp coming up next week, let's revisit the Jaguars injury situation with Doc Evan Murphy. We'll do that when we return. This is The Drill on a Custom Tree Surgeons Thursday.